I'm Nate. This is my wife Cassie, and we have a son. He's 9 years old, and he was given a 6-month program recommendation, and we completed that recently. Probably the first concern we had was a lot of he would get very upset very quickly. If something came up that he wasn't expecting, he couldn't handle it emotionally.
He really struggled with connections with other people. If you put him in a situation where he maybe didn't know the people in that situation, he had some social awkwardness, and it just looked hard for him to be in those type of situations, which then led to anxiety and different things. One of the biggest unexpected things for me was his rhythm and his timing, and to be able to hear him singing in church, to know that he's being able to follow along and be able to participate in those activities, which he always really wanted to be able to do.
I think the thing that helped, it was really more that it helped me and us out, is it became less stressful at home because you understood now the struggles that he was having. You go, okay, this is why this is happening. You change your approach dealing with him and the difficulties he was having. So it changes your outlook on how you handle things at home. And then the other was we had younger children, we just put them all through the exercises, and we saw things that we weren't necessarily aware of in their life improve. And so that was just a added thing. I mean, the answer is yes. It was equidistant for us to either come to this West Chase one or another one. I mean, we thank God it was that he directed us to come here. The staff was amazing. The support we got, emails, phone calls, communication, they were very upfront with us about what our part was when we started. I mean, they were understanding, they worked with us.
They were constantly in communication and constantly being able to assist us with whatever life threw at us during the time that we were here. And they gave us the tools to support us during those times too. Mm-hmm. So that way we were never just left on our own. I also loved when our kids walked in, whether it was just the child that is in program or it was our whole family, they were all greeted by name, they were talking to them, they were drawing pictures for the staff and things, and the staff really tried to form that relationship, which then eased the anxieties that our child would have normally have dealt with.
And I mean, you felt like a part of a family with the staff. Trust the process. They're going to give you some books. You should read them, and then understand that when you get your initial assessment, that time of program will end. And so if it was 6 months or 7 months or 12 months, pace yourself. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. The other thing is, as a spouse, you have to work together. So you have to share the responsibilities, and I don't know how we could have done it without being on the same page or supporting one another. If one of you is against it and one of you is for it, you're gonna struggle. But if you're both poured into the process, which you're pouring this into your kid, it's gonna go really well. And if you have a family, you have other kids, get them involved.
I think my biggest thing is to know that there are hills and valleys with the program. We had committed to, we were going to see this through. And so when we went through that first regression, we looked at each other and we're like, all right, this is just one of those downhills. We're gonna work through it until we get up to the uphill climb.
And we knew it was because I hadn't read all of the books. So I'm not necessarily reading the whole book for myself, but she's telling me, hey, this is what's going on. So you have to trust one another. And when she says, hey, he's going through a valley, I goes, oh, okay, that's normal. That's part of the program. It's not that it's not working. It's that this is part of the program. So if you read the material that you're given, you're better prepared to deal with or handle those valleys that come up.
And I think trusting each other, but also trusting the people who are at your Brain Balance Center. Mm-hmm. Most of them, I know a lot of the centers are owned by people who have either been through this or are going through it, or they really just believe in what the program is. They're not going to lead you astray.
And then I just want to say the one thing is that it is a financial cost, and your individual Brain Balance Center, ours, and I'm assuming all of them do, They'll have financial options for you to assist you, or at least ours did. It's an investment in your kid for not just, for their future is financial or getting a job or things like that. It's just an investment in them as a person. He has a brain imbalance. It's not terminal, but it would assist him greatly if he was balanced out. It was exceeding abundantly above what we could have asked or even thought is how well it turned out. That was the one question, is it worth it? And the answer is yes, it's worth it. You cannot measure what it does for your son, and then as far as you and your family, it's worth it. You won't be sorry.